So now we come to the part of the story where the younger son has his light bulb moment. Now, some of our youth are turning 18 this year. One of them already has, and another two are coming up at the end of the year. And our one that just turned 18, I was talking to her about it, and she's like, I'm actually an adult now. I can legally go and vote and drink. But I don't feel like I'm any different. She doesn't feel like an adult. She said, she asked me, when does it sink in that you're actually an adult? I said, well, I've been an adult for 7 years now. I haven't figured that one out yet. I've moved out of home, moved back, moved out again. I've been out again for about 2.5 to 3 years now. I'm still learning how to be an adult properly. Things like, I got to book my own doctor's appointments, make sure I'm eating healthy, all that sort of stuff, which I never actually thought of. Cooking, like planning what meals I'm going to eat every night, never thought that was a thing, but I'm still learning how to be an adult. Now, the younger son in this story, after he completely cut himself off from his family, from his culture, from his heritage, he finds out the hard way that the rules and boundaries and things that he grew up with and that we grow up with, they're there for a reason. We keep going through Luke chapter 15 from verse 14. After he had spent everything, there was a severe famine in that whole country, and he began to be in need. So he went and hired himself out to a citizen of that country, who sent him to his fields to feed pigs. He longed to fill his stomach with the pods that the pigs were eating, but no one gave him anything. When he came to his senses, he said, "How many of my father's hired servants have food to spare? And here I am, starving to death. I will set out and go back to my father and say to him, 'Father, I have sinned against heaven and against you. I am no longer worthy to be called your son. Make me like one of your hired servants.' So he got up and he went back to his father." He wasted everything he had, having fun, partying. And then the famine struck. And all of a sudden, he's regretting every choice that he's just made. He ended up feeding pigs. Now, for a Jew, that basically meant you were cursed. So that's where he's at right now. He's had to go all the way down to feeding pigs. But then in verse 17, we see he has the light bulb moment, that moment of realization where he says, I'm starving, but even the lowest people back home with my father have everything they need provided for them. So then he starts trying to figure out what to do, even whether or not he'll actually be accepted back. And he thinks he's blown his chances of being back in the family ever again. But maybe, just maybe, there's a chance he can come back as a servant or a worker for his father. And then verse 20. So he got up and he went to his father. He could come to his senses all he wanted to. He could realize just how much better off he'd be and how much he needed to go back to his father. But if he'd never actually got up and went back, nothing would have changed. And that's all that God is asking us to do. Be willing to take that step and come back to him. We might not 100% know what we're doing. We might not have the whole picture. But the fact is, when we come to that moment of realization of, I need Jesus, or there's something more here, we need to take that step and turn to him. If we know our need, the next step is to take the step back to him. And that's what Jesus is asking us to do.